Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. Today we're going to be talking about autopiloting, what it is, how to stop it, and how to start practicing awareness instead. So look, this is one of those topics that, I'm not content to just talk about this is how you should train, this is how you should eat, fast like this, prioritize sleep. Sleep is important. All those things are very important. It's good to learn about more details and strategies around it, but I know that it's all about so much more than that, and I want to get to the core. And what I'm going to be talking about is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, but it's kind of hard to boil down into one topic, but just give me a chance and I'll try my best to explain. So, yeah, I've had this conversation many times, like with just people in life, but many clients too. Basically, I hear stories like, I went on this diet and I lost weight, but then I just stopped for some reason. Or I started training and I felt better, I lost weight, but then I just stopped for some reason. Or I know that I felt so much better when I was training regularly and eating a better diet, but then I just stopped for some reason. And to me, this is fascinating because ever since I changed my lifestyle, there's just no turning back. Like, I know who I used to be, how I used to feel, not good. I know what lifestyle led to that and what in the end led to daily panic attacks, a completely horrific situation. And I know how I am today, who I am today, how I feel. Great. And I know what lifestyle led to that. And so there's just no turning back for me. But it might be the case that I'm lucky in the sense that most people just don't hit rock bottom as hard as I did. I have that constant reminder. I can't forget what the opposite of what I'm doing now led to. But I think I understand the phenomenon and I'm not immune to it. And of course, I use training often as a starting point for other things, but this is bigger. This is bigger than just, well, it's relevant to the training too, but it's bigger. But so look, autopiloting, what I mean by that, it's kind of two things. Like, it's both that us humans, we work like this. We kind of install software by doing things until, first, when they're new to us, we have to think consciously. We are just worse at them. And all of a sudden, we can do them by default. Like, a good example would be me just kind of recently taking my driver's license. And of course, when I started practicing, just driving around a little bit in the parking lot, I had to think about every little detail. I get sweaty, I get hot from it, and all of a sudden I can just drive kind of effortlessly without thinking too much about it. So there's that one part, but it's also that a lot of people, they just go through life reacting to what's happening around them or how they're feeling, they just react instead of stopping and reflecting and choosing how they want to respond to this situation, and I think part of that is because it's this information society, we get just so fed with information from TV shows we watch, or the media, reading the news, watching the phone. We get fed so much information. And of course, we can have thoughts, and we can be conscious that we have thoughts, but we're not really, really thinking for ourselves. We're just receiving. And so what like this. The autopiloting, the programming, it's always taking on something new. It's always kind of have to be a little forceful because you're going against your current programming, right? And you have to do that kind of forcefully until it eventually becomes part of your programming. But old programming can come up. Like the best example would be like things from your childhood, your wounds or trauma or things you were exposed to in your childhood. They will kind of, no matter how well we understand ourselves and work on that, in certain situations in life, those things will always come up. And it's similar with other trauma or things we've been through, but also just having certain programming for many years. Like, on the surface, we can change it kind of quickly. Just a few months, years of not training, a few months of training. You get the habit down, but the old programming that's been there for a while, it's there beneath the surface, and certain things can trigger us into going back into that. That's what I kind of think I figure out through talking to people about this, that many times it's some kind of, when you have the habit down, say someone, they manage to, I go to the gym 3 times per week, and I eat healthy, clean foods, and on the weekend maybe I enjoy something out of the ordinary, I drink a little bit of alcohol, I had some this or whatever, and it's a good routine. This will be a good lifestyle for a lot of people, but it's often when some kind of disturbance enters the picture. Like, for instance, yeah, just life stresses. Someone close to you dies. You're sad, and yeah, it's a big disturbance. This takes a lot of energy for you, or a breakup, a relationship, a huge thing, of course, or just a really stressful situation arising at your job. There are many complex life problems that can happen that yeah, affects the way we feel, and it's often when this outside disturbance comes that we kind of go into our old programming. Like, you're now stressed and I don't feel like going to the gym. Would be so nice to just go home and chill. Or I don't feel good. I need to soothe myself in some way. Yeah, eating some junk like I used to, But when you don't think about it this consciously many times, you just kind of act on it. And this is autopiloting too that you have to learn. Like for me, I take this, for me, again, I think I'm lucky in the sense that basically no going back. But the closest I was to that was last fall. I was dealing with some really difficult personal life things, and I got a lot of anxiety. And for the my lab finally went on. It's a little weird. I was dealing with a bunch of difficult shit, and I got anxiety. And for the first time, I didn't feel like going to the gym. It was like I had forgotten why I do it. I don't feel like doing it now. I'm not excited about making progress or anything. I don't want to be around people. But then what I did was I stopped. I had to really reflect on this. Like, but you've been doing this for a long time now. And why did you do it? Yeah, because I know. Again, I know how I used to be, how I used to feel, and what saved me. It was this lifestyle. So, I know you don't feel like it right now, Theo, but you have to do this. You see that you have to do this, right? And then I did. And I did I had to kind of forcefully do it like this a lot. I didn't want to. My old programming kicked in, the comfort program. No, just hide away from everything, no need to go to the gym, la 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 la. But eventually, going through this kind of reflection every time, it became a new autopilot. Yeah, I'm not feeling good, but going to the gym is actually what makes me feel better, like right in the moment too. And so I created that new positive thing. But so I think many times through talking to people, it's most times it's not like completely out of nowhere. There was something that happened. Like some stressful life situation arising that triggered them to go back into the old pattern, And I would say that the more, the better you have worked for yourself, the like higher the threshold is, what you can tolerate or outside the story. That's why some people, maybe seemingly, it was almost nothing that triggered them to go back to their old ways. It might just been a few days of bad sleep or something. Do you see what I'm saying? So it might be a little okay. So I go on autopilot, but what do? I just stop and think about it, and that's kind of it. Yes, because autopiloting many times, even when we are thinking and we hear that voice in our heads, it's still an autopiloting voice. Like. An example, I had a pretty bad weed habit, and I wanted to quit it every day, basically. And so when I was out, I was always like, okay, from tomorrow, I stop, I don't buy any new. And then for some reason, at the end of the day, I find myself still heading to get more, and I'm aware of it, But, and so it's very difficult to go against the autopilot sometimes, but that's part of it too. Like, even when you fail to accomplish what you want to, you have to practice this awareness, like, look, I'm doing this fucking shit again, and the more you become aware of it, eventually there will just kind of come an opportunity where you see that, I feel like I can choose differently now. I feel like I can make a different choice. And that's what happened with the weed, All of a sudden I was like, yeah, I don't know. I find myself just from going through the same pattern over and over, but thinking and reflecting a lot on it. When I just felt a little bit less like I needed to do this, I just took the chance of, okay, fuck it, let's not do it anymore. And it worked. And so how you get this habit into your daily life is it's meditation that I want to come to, that you should be doing. I'll link here the silent prayer from Jesse Lee Peterson. It's called the silent prayer, but it's basically meditation thing. But being alone with your thoughts for a bit and really thinking about thinking, like watching your thoughts, see how different thoughts trigger different things and so on. It's It's so difficult to boil down this, but I think I've figured it out, you know. The more you'll be able to understand your patterns, how you think, why you think, when certain thoughts arise and stuff, you'll be able to, in moments, just not be like, react and just go with it, you know. You'll be actually able to stop and look, I'm doing this thing again now. It's not every time that you're going to be able to change the way you're doing it, but this is what I'm talking about with awareness. Many times, it's just being fucking unaware of what's happening. Like, I say that the person that's not done a lot of this, like a few days of bad sleep, and it's like, I don't feel like trading today. I'll just skip it, you know. And all of a sudden they fell out of that habit and into always, because they were completely unaware. But if you're aware, like, if I skip it now, it's more likely that I'm gonna skip it next time. And you know, it's that kind of awareness that will make you able to, when the autopilot for the new habit, for instance, isn't there, you will be able to manually do it instead. And yeah, I think that's it, you know. It's so difficult to boil down, but I'm so curious, you know, and I always want to think about these more abstract things. Like, so many people, they know a bunch of training, they know a bunch of diet and stuff, but still they are unable to follow through with it all. And I think this is key, you know. Practice awareness. Be aware that you have certain patterns, be aware of how they are created, and you'll be able to respond instead of reacting. Yeah, I think I'll end the video here. Probably a bunch of more things. I could probably go on for an hour trying to like really nail it down, but I hope this made some kind of sense to you. Please let me know in the comments. What did you think about? Is there, like, tell me what you thought, because it will make it easier if I make a follow-up video. I should be clear about this, or maybe something you say open my eyes to something. So it's very helpful. Please like. All comments and like help support the channel, so very much appreciated. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, but also the more uncommon sense takes, philosophical takes on things like this video. Okay guys, I'll see you later. Peace.